Says you're now live. Can you see me?
No, because I'm not. Yes, now I can see you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to try and look at the right spot. Can everybody see me? You might have to come over here and just look to see if Joe is going to respond or anything.
Okay.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Ask Joe, is everything okay now?
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there. Right?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to start over. And actually, if you've ever followed me or whatever, you will know that when it comes to computers, they hate me. I actually know what I'm doing, but I can never get it to do what I want it to do. So I don't know what it is. But that's okay. This gave other people an opportunity to jump on before I started. So, and I excuse my voice. I've been working a lot, and I have like a tickle in my throat. But again, my name is Marlene Potts. I'm the owner of Stuffed Balloons from A to Z. I'm also partners with my husband, Chris Potts, in Buffalo, New York, at a store called Balloon Masters. And we've been in business for 32 years. I hate to admit that, but we started with a balloon stuffing machine and in retail. When we started, decorating really wasn't that popular until we were in business about 2 or 3 years, and then we got into decorating. So at first, this is all we did. I love retail. I love coming up with products for retail. I still do. I have a passion for it. And you know, those small products at $20, $25, $50, those really add up. You know, you sell a couple hundred of those and that adds up. So what we've learned is that we supplement a lot of our income obviously with decorating, but those weeks right before holidays when decorating, like the week before Christmas, there's not a lot of decorating. Week before Easter, not a ton of things going on. But you can make a ton of money at craft shows, in the mall, doing kiosks, doing other like little pop-up shops at other stores, supermarkets, nurseries, garden centers, all that kind of stuff, okay? So what I want to talk about tonight is, believe it or not organic, because I can't watch another organic thing for myself. I love all the tips and tricks, but I watch it so much, I thought, you know what, I'm not teaching that. So my specialty, again, is retail, and I love it. So this is going to be a little bit, if you have a machine, great. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm going to kind of switch back and forth and show you how you can make money with or without a machine for the holidays. Because, like, let's face it, not everybody wants a big company like mine and Chris's, right? Not everybody's looking to do that type of volume. And you might have a side gig and you might make $25,000 extra a year, and that might be what you vacation on, or maybe it's $50,000. Maybe you're saving for college and you're, you know, just stocking it all away. Hey, everybody has their own comfort level and their own thing that they want to do. Some people never want to do decorating. They don't want to go to people's homes. They don't want to worry about hanging things and insurance and all that kind of stuff. And that's okay, because there's still a lot of money to be made on the other end. So tonight I do want to emphasize, I'm not going to answer questions. Chris is helping me, but I'm not going to probably verbally answer questions while I'm presenting, but he will type some answers for you. At the end, I can do a question and answer period for you. And almost every single thing that you see, except maybe 2 items, can be found at Having a Party. Okay, so I made it very, very simple. I do want to thank them for having me on, because they're amazing, amazing, helpful guys. And if anything good came out of COVID, it made a lot of people have to go to different vendors to find their things. And it's amazing the great customer service in this weird time that we're in, where we can't get shipments and balloon shortages, how hard distributors will work for you to get you what you need, to find what you need. And I think that's a good thing, that, you know, we all found Jamar. Everybody was Qualitex and Sempertex. Now people use Toughtex and Jamar and all these other brands that have come up with these amazing colors. So it's if there can be a little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I feel that might be it. Because I'll tell you, at Having a Party, they have saved us many times, besides with their shipping and how much stock they have, and just the fact that if you need something, they will help you find it. So I really, really suggest working with them. Okay, So I think I'm gonna get started. I have so much, guys. I'm going to get started with something simple. Now, the things that I'm gonna show tonight are really things if you're doing a mall kiosk, again, craft shows, that type of thing. Maybe you have a storefront, and this is where you're gonna make your money. You're gonna do pop-up shops, that type of thing. So we're gonna start with something simple, and I don't, Chris, can they see my machine? Okay, well, I can only go so far. So, now I have a balloon stuffing machine, and a lot of you do. I mean, I'm assuming that some of my followers are on there, which I should tell you, I do have a YouTube channel, and I post videos on there all the time for beginners, and little things about malls and business and, oh my God, all kinds of stuff, marketing. And I also, on my Facebook page, which is Stuffed Balloons from A to Z with Marlene Potts, or just the regular Facebook page, Stuffed Balloons from A to Z, you'll find I post lots of tips, where you can get things, all that kind of good stuff, just marketing. I'll answer your questions, problems. On my website, I offer videos where I get really in depth about balloon stuffing and marketing and pricing and different ideas and where to go, what to do. I even offer private lessons. So, and I'm doing a tour this summer, and those dates will be announced, where you can actually come and meet me, and we're gonna do a whole day of stuffing. So if you love it as much as me, retail, those are the things that you can see. But the first thing I'm gonna do is talk about balloons. Now, I use Qualitex, I use Sempertex, there's Decomax and Caltex. Has 18-inch stuffing balloons, and they have an extra wide neck. That's why they're called a stuffing balloon. So it makes it easier to fit on your 5-inch machine, correct? The first thing I'm gonna show you is one of the very, very best sellers that we have for any craft show, any event that we do. Actually, from the very first kiosk I ever did at Christmas time, this was one of the best sellers. These can be made very simply. So I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you how to do it kind of without. I'm going to explain that, a machine, and I'm going to show you with the machine. Now, when you have a machine, of course, it's going to be easier. Let's face it. But I don't want you to think it can't be done. This is a balloon stretcher, and I couldn't live without mine. It's not that you can't stretch things by hand and all that kind of good stuff, but, oh, look at that, I broke it. So you know why, and I'll tell you why I broke it. See, I ripped it, because when you put the balloon on, you have to put it really far down, either on your fingers like this, right? So if you're gonna hand stretch it, or you have to put it really far down on the tongs, or you break the neck. Sometimes you can get little pinholes, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm really putting that down on there. I'm gonna stretch it out, okay? And I'm gonna put it on my machine. Inside of here, and we're gonna move fairly quickly tonight, but I'm gonna inflate my machine. And for this particular product, you really don't even have to have it, I actually just saw something that I want, but you don't even have to have it fully inflated. But I have a little flower here. These are heart-shaped, 6-inch heart-shaped balloons that are tied together, inflated and tied together like you would any quad, okay, but this is 5. And then there's a little duplet in the middle. That's what keeps it open. I'm actually gonna put that in the machine, okay? Now, if you're a twister, you could twist, of course, you can twist any animal, you can, do different holidays, you can do flowers, you can do leprechauns for whatever. You could do, if you were gonna do like the cancer walk, you could do pink ribbons in here, okay? But I'm actually gonna do that. And I'm gonna space it out there a little bit, just so it looks like something. And I'm gonna put in a couple extra little balloons. Now, for me, ultimately, what I'd like to do in this product, now I use that because it was laying around, but I like to use curlies, the curly cues, like this inside here, and I'll use maybe 2 of those and 3 5-inch balloons, okay? Now, if you have a machine and you're gonna go to a craft show and you're gonna make this particular product, I suggest taking your machine with you, and I will tell you why. because what we're gonna make here, you are gonna love. So I'm all done. I'm gonna take it off my machine. Now, if I was going to make this same product without a machine, I couldn't put the flour in there, but I could fill it with 5 or 6 little 5-inch balloons, correct? I don't know if you guys know how to do that, but you put it on the, so I'm blowing a little bit of air in there, and I'm gonna make it, I'm actually underinflating it, right? So when you do balloon stuffing, you usually make it a little thicker, but in this one, I'm gonna underinflate it. Okay, so I got my little flour in there, and like I said, generally I would do a couple curlies, and I would do a couple 5-inch, and I'm actually gonna tie this by hand, okay? No clip on this. Then I'm gonna take a 260Q, whatever color you want, and I'm gonna tie it together at the ends, okay? And I'm going to make a lark's head knot. If you can see that, I've put a little loop inside of my, here is my 260 tied together. And a lark's head makes a little loop like this. And I know you're pretty far away and you can't hear or really see it, but if you looked up lark's head, Larkins, lark's head knots, you would find this knot. And, or quite honestly, you can just tie it here too if you want. But this is just how we do it. I'm gonna put that on there. And now I've made a punching ball, okay? So what I suggest is, and I clean this, and if you're not a twister or a balloon stuffer, I use STP Armor All. I actually don't have that over here because I used it. There's one underneath the desk there. I used it at the last event. There's a couple things you can do. So if I was doing this by hand, I would use my hand pump, and I would put a 5-inch balloon over my pump, right? And then you stick it in here and you pump it, and then you keep filling it. My suggestion is if you do this and you don't have a machine, to inflate this first so it's stretched out, makes it much easier to fill, okay? So you can do that all day long. You don't have a balloon stretcher, so I was gonna say you could stretch it out. You can't do that either if you don't have a machine. But these are sold separately. You'll actually, if you buy one for your shop, even if you don't have a stretcher, you'll use it more than you think. So, and it was a 16-inch balloon. But if you have a stuffing machine, I suggest taking the stuffing machine to your event, and if you could actually be set up right next to a twister, it's even better. But if you have a booth and you're just looking to make those, inexpensive sales, because again, they add up and they can pay for your booth and they can pay for your payroll and they're very profitable, take your machine and let kids make their own. So you can have a big display of these, take a base plate and pole, put rubber bands on it, put your neck underneath the rubber band, and you'll have a big tree of these hanging there. And it's gorgeous and it's very eye-catching and people love it. And the kids come over, and maybe these are $8, right? So you have about, if you did it the normal way, like I do, you'd have about $1 of actual product in here. You probably have about $1.10, and then you add your labor and all that kind of good stuff. And you can see how fast I made it. So you're probably looking at about $2.25. I'm adding in your overhead, your rent for wherever you're going to be. You're probably going to take a credit card. That's 3%. Okay, so these prices that I'm telling you include actual charges. So profit is what you make after you pay yourself. Profit is not what you make, after you take your expenses out. You still have to pay yourself labor and then go on, right? Because you might have somebody helping you. So anyways, so these cost about $2.25. At tops, $3. You sell them for $8, $9, $10. Okay, you're going to put them in a bag, leave the handle out so the kids can punch them, but it protects it while they're walking around the mall or the craft show. And let's face it, the kid's going to want it, and 5 minutes later he's going to be done playing with it and the mom has to carry it around. So we're going to make it really easy for her to carry it around. And if you have kids, you've been there. But if you take your machine, you have the opportunity of making more money and offering something different. So let the kids come up, line up, and maybe for $12 or $14 they can make their own punching ball. So you put the balloon on, let them push the button, you know, or push down on your inflator, because some of you have that lid that pushes down, and you can kind of help them, right? And the balloon inflates. They choose 3 little 5-inch balloons and a couple twisty balloons that you put in there. You close it up for them and then give it to them, and they love that. So you can get extra for that. Now the reason I say to be next to a twister, because they could get a poodle made over here and then put the poodle inside their balloon, right? Or you can ask that twister, maybe you're not a twister, hey, can you make me, you know, 50 dogs? And then when you are presenting your stuffed balloons, you can have something like this for 8. You can make it themselves for 10, and then maybe for 12 or 15, or, you know, depending on your area, right? Because every area is different. You can add that stuffed dog in there. Not stuffed, but a twisted dog in there, and close it up. But these are, and I know this for a fact, because if you know anybody that's taken my class, because I have a whole class on how to make money, a whole video on how to make money at festivals, this will be your #1 seller. So when you're at a mall for a whole week, really the busiest times, even a craft show or whatever, are really going to be the 3 or 4 days right before the holiday. So you need products that are going to sell a lot before that, and this is one of those products, okay? Or maybe you're going to a craft show in the middle of July and there's no holidays, you're just out there to promote your company, any type of balloon business, whether you're a decorator or not, and you want to pay for your booth, and you want to pay for your labor, and you know, maybe you made a big organic piece, well, you want to pay for that. This you can sell, and this will pay for it. You can put your card on there. You can have these imprinted with your logo if you wanted. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with a punching ball. Okay, so #1. All right. So if you've just joined us, hello. Again, I'm Marlene Potts, and I'm teaching a little bit about retail. Okay. My next project is going to be, oh my God, guys, I have too much. Okay, I'm going to show an egg. And this has been a really good product seller for us. I don't know if you can see that, okay? So this, you don't need a stuffing machine at all, right? So this is an empty egg, and we fill it like this with all kinds of treats. Oh, give me that butterfly, the butterfly. So what I do is I put a little grass in here, and I fill it with my treats, right? So we still can have like a stuffed animal in there. You can have some jacks. You can have a ball. It's pretty big, right? It's bigger than you think. And then, of course, you have this tall top here. So you can put in, whatever, little Easter bunny, you know, lots of candy on the bottom. Yeah, okay. And then what I like to do, thank you, is I put it on here, but I actually put some little balloons up in this area, because I want this to be really, really packed full so it doesn't shake. That makes people nervous, and then nothing will get broken. But over and above that, now here's the $1 million selling point, is we put in one of these little wind-up butterflies. And I'm going to date myself because I loved these when I was young. I had dinosaurs and everything else, right? So we're going to put one of these in here. This is going to be packed, okay? You're going to put that in there, and then when they open it up, and I just let it go, I'm sorry. This, you have to like turn this thing like 25 times. And in our store, since April Fool's Day, we've been having quite a good time with these, hiding them all over, scaring people, scaring everybody. So Chris is notorious for that. He won't leave me alone about the butterfly. Today he told me that he was going to get all real butterflies, but that's what happens, right? Could they see that? Yeah? Okay. So I suggest getting a couple of these, and of course it makes it that much more fun. And they go, oh, because you can't really put confetti or anything in these because it's not going to come out. But you just pop that baby up. Now, of course, your price is going to be based on what you put inside. We sell these for approximately $35, $30 to $35 based on what's inside. And this is we're not putting these up right now. This is something when we go to our vendors, like the week of Easter, okay? So when we go out to our malls and stuff like that, that week, this is when we're pushing these, okay? Because the big bunnies you know, you have to have a lot of storage and stuff for. There's a lot of, you have to think a lot about what you're gonna, how you're gonna present those and how you're gonna get, you know, 50 of them in a small space and stuff. But this stuff is grab and go, and they really, really love it. And it's just fun. So this egg is about $5. They have them on sale right now at Michael's. But you can also get them online. It's, you want an 8 to 10 inch egg to make it fit the bunny heads. And there's lots of different bunny heads. So this was the one today that I got from Michael's. Okay. So again, it's just empty. So you would fill it and put it together. You know what too I need, because they took, I'm sorry, we did a big show this weekend, so all my stuff is gone. I need the glue dots, please. What am I gonna do here? I'm gonna do pink for him. So, I'm gonna show you, in case you're new. I know a lot of you out there know how to do all this stuff, but yeah, please. So it's super simple. Most of it is obviously all glued on there. So I did 4 pumps, and yes, I have an air inflator. We have lots and lots of air inflators, but the key to this is really making sure that your balloons are sized the right way so that everything sits flat. If your balloons, if you don't pump them the right way or size them the right way, then they sit funny, and then you don't want that, right? So like this. And of course your egg would be nice and heavy because it's going to have all that candy and good stuff in it. Okay. So we have our 2 duplets. When I put that together, it's called a quad. Okay, so I'm just going to twist that. I'm sure you guys have seen that a million times. And I'm actually going to take my egg and I'm going to glue it right on there. Okay. And when I say glue, I'm using glue dots. I do like the Pro line more than just regular ones. They are much stronger. Okay, so if you can see that, right? And I'm going to take these off. And one reason I like these over, well, first of all, using balloon bond or anything, that's a little bit more expensive and doesn't come off. These will come off so that they can use their egg, you know, for years and years and years. Okay, like this. I also find that these are very good for teenagers. Like if you want to offer the big bunnies like that for like little kids, and this offer like beef jerky and baseball cards, or for boys I like to do like Old Spice, or no, Axe. They love Axe, right? Like grooming products, that kind of thing. For girls I like to use makeup sponges and fingernail polish, that type of thing, just little things. Again, more things that I'm going to use if I don't sell them. Like I know everybody here is going to eat beef jerky. I obviously do my nails. I use makeup sponges. So I try to not go so far-fetched that if this is a product that's left over, I can't use it myself or resell it in another way, like maybe for Mother's Day, right? Anything you buy for girls, you know, all those things that I just mentioned, you can obviously use and for Mother's Day as well in a little gift basket. Okay, so very simple. Now I'm going to make another quad, but it's going to be smaller. So that was 4 pumps. I'm actually going to do 2 pumps. Now I have him, this egg is a little bit bigger. I don't usually use the pump, so you have to bear with me because I don't normally inflate like this. Right, 2 pumps. 2 pumps. 2 quads, or 2 duplets, which is French. Makes it a quad. French. Why that is the way we do with balloons, we do. I don't know why. Okay, and I'm obviously going to put that on top there. I'm going to glue that. But first, I'm going to get my bunny head. This is a bunny head. They're 14 inch. They're air filled, so you do have to heat seal this. Okay, and on Having a Party, they actually have an excellent video on how to do that. So if you look on their Instagram page here, they have all kinds of, they teach you like a lot of things if you're new. And I'm tying, what I'm doing is I'm literally just tying the neck right to a nozzle of a latex, okay? Now he's a little loosey-goosey, so that's because I have so much neck in here. So what I'm going to do is just keep twisting my balloons around it to get rid of that neck, so it gets really, really tight in there. And now he's not going to move. See how much better that is? Just by twisting it around the balloons. And you can't really see it in here, so I'm not going to show that. So then I'm going to put that on top there, right? Then I'm going to go like this. Now I tend to talk a lot, so I don't want to go for 5 hours. Joe said he's going to cut me off at midnight. So if it goes dark, that's why. He also said sometimes that you can't hear the sound and we have to start all over again, so don't be concerned. You might have to chime back in. Okay, so I'm just using some more glue dots. That's it, okay? And then I make his little arms, and his little arms are a 160, but I think you took my white 260s. So since we just made this, all the product is over there. Okay, clean up a little bit here while we're doing it. Again, these are really good sellers. Try to get the butterflies. I got these off of Amazon. They also have them at Oriental Trading Company. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm using 260. I'm going to stretch it first. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to actually use half. I apologize. I'm going crazy making the big bunnies, so when I start making the little guys, I get all discombobulated. So I'm hoping that everybody can hear me, that you guys are having a good night. Okay, so I'm going to go like this, and depends how long I want my arms. I'm going to go about that big. Now this we just put little, some more little 5-inch at the end, but you can use a little. Did you do the rubber band through here?
No.
No, you just tied them? Okay. So I really want my arm to only be about this big. Also, when you're displaying at a craft show and you have arms, you know, make sure that they're going to take up space, and you probably only have a couple tables. So keep that in mind, that these you could maybe have in a bag, and just put them on like right before they buy them, okay? Because you're going to lose a lot of space by doing that. Done this. Looks like a little hot dog. Now, I am no twister by any means, so if I can do this, you guys, you can do this. I make very, very simple things that just make lots of money. That's my motto. Okay, and they don't have to be perfect, because nobody knows if they're perfect but you. See, like this guy's gonna end up small, and I'm okay with that. So we're good. I'm going to do 2 pumps. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to do even less than that to do the little guys there. And I'm tying this really, really close. You really want to squeeze it and close it, because this is a 5-inch balloon, right? So it wants to inflate this part. So if you don't squeeze it up, if you don't put your nozzle in there and squeeze that balloon up, it's going to lose its air, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball those. And I'm going to tie it really tight, okay? I'm going to tie one to one arm. And you can put them, obviously, together like we have it. I do that, of course, for display, because if I leave them all with their arms wide open, it's hard to display those, okay? I'm going to cut off my mechanics here, right? We don't want people to see have to be as clean as possible, right? I've got this nice tail, so I'm going to tie these together. And the reason I don't want to, the reason I'm doing it separate, you can do one, but it's gonna make the neck funny. So if you're trying to put arms on and your heads are, doing that, it's because you're not doing this with your arms. If you're trying to do just one 260, it doesn't work. It makes the quad go crazy, okay? So then I'm gonna put him in there, my arms in there. And for this, you just want to twist them together. There, see how cute that is? I saw actually on my Facebook page, somebody was using little paper carrots. She couldn't find the bunny feet. So she had those little puff out carrots, like that you get from a party store or whatever. And that would look really cute right here, actually. Just a little bitty carrot. So does everybody understand all of that? Great seller, okay? Good, Chris? We're good. Okay, we're doing the next one. If you guys are ready, do you want more or should I stop now? What do you think? What should I do? Okay. Hopefully they're saying they want more. No? They want me to stop? Oh my God, be quiet. Okay, so my next thing, I'm going to do that last. I'll do that. Okay. Everybody does the big bunnies, but how about doing just a little bunny, right? Just a little guy. Okay, so this is interesting because if you have a stuffing machine, you might have the keepsake stuffer that's got a tube. You might have the Jiffy tubes, right? Jiffy tubes you can actually buy and use without a stuffer. So for those of you that want to do smaller products like this, very good investment, especially for flowers. On my machine, I have the tube built right in, okay? But I'm going to show you a trick. This is going to be the $1 million thing here. Now, Joe doesn't sell these, but if enough people ask, I'm sure he would bring them in. But I actually made this, and I love this thing, on a Stuffaloon. Has anybody seen this toy advertised, the Stuffaloon? You know what, because you might be get the box. It's in my office. No, it's actually underneath. It's actually underneath that desk with it. Oh, never mind. Just so you know what it is. Okay. It's kind of like a cheat. If you want to do little things like this, it's kind of like a cheat. And it takes a little strength and just a little bit of getting used to it. That's what it is. It's a toy. It's actually $20. I think I paid $40 for mine because it was like in the heyday. Now I think that they've gone down in price. There's not as many people buy them, but that's what this is, okay? Now, the way that I made this is actually a Q-Link, a G-Link, whatever you want to call it. Whatever brand you use, which I have right here. What did I do with them? I had my links right here. Are they? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So mine has a design on it. I do like to use the clear ones with a design if you can find them. I think it fills it without adding any money. Well, I mean, your balloon is a little more expensive, but still, I don't have to put another product in there. Okay, and you know what, Chris? I'm sorry. I also, because I built it over there, I also need my shred. I don't have my shred. I have my little water balloons. All right. You can see I've worked all day. And I did spend time preparing for this, but it's a little bit away from me. So, if this is an 11-inch balloon, and it has the link on the end. So that's what I'm talking about when I say a link, okay? And they come in different colors. You don't have to make it clear. So you could just fill this with candy and make it solid colored and put like Pop Me across it, or come up with something funny like Pop Me hair, like a rabbit hair, something like that, and put that on there. You can also put vinyl across and put their names on it if you want to go to that extent. And this will save you lots and lots of time, okay? What I suggest, though, is absolutely, and somebody took my tape. Okay, I'm batting 1,000 today. See, I usually have this all set up, and nobody's supposed to touch it because I'm very particular about my things because I don't like to do this. So, unfortunately, those things aren't there. But you can use your hands, and you get your hands down in the neck, okay, and you're going to stretch this 11-inch balloon over this. I want to make sure it's locked in there. And this comes with instructions, so don't worry. And it actually comes with some of their own little balloons, which are really cool because they have an 18-inch stuffing balloon, like neck. Actually, I think I have one over here. Has nobody touched it? I do. It comes with balloons like this, but they're very hard to get a hold of. So it has the bulbous end and it has a wide mouth, so it's easy to stretch on here. But you only get like 10 in the kit, and you have to buy like more kits to get more, so kind of a pain. So I use 11-inch balloons. And I literally stretch it with my fingers up over this. Now, you can't use an expander on this because it has these little knobs and this, and you can't push it down enough to get the balloon on it. So you do have to do this by hand. But again, yeah, you just work at it, practice it, just like anything. You know, the more you do it, the better you get. And you're going to put that in there, but actually, when I pump it, so this is how you inflate it. Okay. Now, anything I can get in there, I can put inside stuffed balloon. Now, I can really stuff it. Like, I don't have to be, this is crinkle shred, but I don't have to be like super, super gentle with it, right? Like it can be, I can stuff it. It doesn't have to have room in there because I can add more air to it and make the balloon bigger, right? I'm also going to put a little water balloon in here, which I know I have. All right. So I take a 5-inch water balloon and use a high quality balloon for this. Don't use the cheap party store or dollar store ones because the water will eventually leak, and you want to be able to do these in advance. There's nothing other than the arms here. You could easily do this 2 weeks. Like you could be making these right now for the holiday. It's the arms that don't last, so you don't want to make those till the last, you know, couple days or whatever beforehand. But you're going to put a water balloon right in there. Okay, and you're going to put enough shred in there. I'm using crinkle shred. I don't normally use this, but for this I'm going to get it in there. Okay, and that was about a golf ball size or more. And the reason I'm doing that is because that I don't want this to tip over. And when you pick it up, I want it to be heavy. Okay, you can also add another little water balloon down here if you want, or you could actually tie this to a tile if you want to go crazy. But I don't do any of that, so that's my thing. And my neck, and my bear, and my rabbit. He doesn't want to stay in here. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to put a little bunny. This is from the dollar store. I'm going to put him in there. I always leave the tags on my things, by the way, just because I think parents like to know that it's brand new. You know, so always, if it's got a price on it, cut it off. If you buy something at Walmart, they always have the price still on it, so you have to cut the price off, but I leave the tag on. Okay, I did put fishing line. I don't know if you guys could see that, but I threaded the little rabbit with fishing line at the top. Okay, and now I'm going to take it off. Just unhooks like this. Okay, and then you can add air with a hand pump or like this. I have a little premium pump here. And he's going to have a little static till he gets moved around a little bit, which means your shred is going to stick to him a little bit. But I keep it very, very simple inside there. I'd rather put a bigger plushed animal than more little stuff in there. You could, if you want to go crazy, add little balloons right now. I could use my hand pump, take the air out, pump it, and put little balloons in there. But what I find is that they kind of just get in the way, and this is an inexpensive product. I don't want to put more time in it than I really need to. These also, though, make awesome centerpieces. So if you want to do like a bunny, you know, Easter brunch or something like that, you could easily sell 20 of these to restaurants, stuff like that, okay? So we don't want to make just one product. That's not how you make money, you know, like the dollar store, they don't just have one product, they have thousands of products, right? Amazon, you know, they're the kings of things that are $5 or $10. The Five Below store, they have a nice selection of things. So we want to do the same thing, and all that adds up, okay? So we have this, okay, and then I would inflate my quad just like I did before, okay? Now this is gonna be my top, I thought, yep. This is my bottom quad, okay? Obviously I'm gonna tie my link to my big base, okay? Okay. So I got my bunny in there, okay? And then I'm actually going to tie the neck of this balloon. I'm going to cut my string a little bit. You can see my fishing line here. And I'm going to tie this quad to the top of my balloon. Now, there's many of you out there that can twist and can do elaborate, wonderful things. You'll use ribbon on these, all of that. And that's a great thing. Just keep in mind that, again, it's not an expensive product, so you're not going to get $75 for this. So, keep it in perspective when you're adding all your goodies. I'm also after speed because I'm going to do so many. So I don't want to get bogged down with, why did everything fall off the table? Where's my bunny? All right, I'm gonna use this guy. So another type of bunny, right? So now we have all different types of 9-inch bunnies that you can use on here, okay? But I don't like this one. This is not big enough for here. I don't know where my other bunny went, but okay. I'm also going to take this long neck. This is a heat sealed item. What? Oh, yeah, I know. I should use that one. And I'm going to tie this to a nozzle of my quad, just like I'm tying a shoe. Okay, 2 shoelaces. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to make it nice and tight like I did that other bunny head on there. I try not to use a lot of glue if I don't have to. Okay, so if I can get that to stand up nice and straight without me gluing anything, I'm golden for that. Also, you got to make sure like there's a barcode on this side, so it's really only a one-sided little product. But this is a really cute little bunny head. Actually, I think this one would look really good on an egg. It's kind of small for this product, but it would look really, really good on an egg, okay? And then you make your arms just like we did before, but I'm going to show you how to make the little pinch twist here. Again, I am no twister, so if I can do this, you can do this. I'm taking a 260Q or, metallic, whatever you want to do. So 260. I'm cutting it in half, okay? Since these guys are little, he reminds me like a shrunken head. That's what this guy reminds me. It's a bunny with a shrunken head, which is actually kind of funny. Again, another product that you could use that Stuffaloon and stuff a solid colored 11-inch full of candy, right? You don't have to do a stuffed bunny. Come up with a little saying on the front and you're all set. Let's see, I forgot I'm making something different here. So I always want to, when you first inflate it, this side where you inflated it is always going to be thicker than the bottom. So you have to kind of move your air down, okay? And that makes it much softer to work with. Move that to the side. And now I'm just knotting it, okay? And I'm going to make this little loop here. And all it is, I just folded it over. I don't measure. I don't do crazy stuff, anything like that. And I twist the neck around there, and then you have to go through the middle to get it to like lock in. And that's it. Okay? There's my hand. I'm good. Okay. Now, this is going to turn out really short. I think I want him to be about this long. Okay. So for me, I'm going to twist it here because I want that long neck so I can tie it onto the next one. And I'm just going to cut it a little bit and tie it, and then it gives me that, I need this to be able to put it in the neck, right, when I attach it to the other one. So I have my other side that I have to tie it, not into. These are our bunny buddies. That's what we call them. Bunny buddies. Again, I'm going to burp it. I made it a little too tight. Okay. I'm folding it over. I'm just twisting it together. Sorry. And I'm putting the neck through that little paw. Okay. And I have another paw. And then I have a neck to tie it onto. Realistically, I would like to have much longer necks on these. I think I should use a rubber band on this. Otherwise it's going to look weird. But okay, just putting a knot. Now, ideally, I would have more space in here, okay? I'm rushing, so, okay? And then you can cross them like this to make sure they're locked in there, like that. And your little shrunken head buddy is ready to go. Your Easter bunny. I'm going to cut off my mechanics here a little bit. And I'm going to bend it. I don't like straight arms, just to give them a little personality. Maybe turn one up like that. So you can see what's happening here. My neck, I can't play with the arms that much because I didn't have that much play inside. So see how it's making my balloons funny? And I know because a lot of people ask me this question online, and that's what they're doing wrong. But if you are as far as I am, you can always use a glue dot just to get it to stay in place on one side and then one on the other. Okay. Again, I'm not a big proponent of that. I would just make it the right way. But if, you have somebody new working with you and maybe, they made a couple mistakes or whatever, that's okay. Don't start all over. Just use a little glue dot, bring it down, and then it is what it is. Okay. You are going to clean this with STP. Okay. It's super cute little bunny head though, isn't it? So he's in there. And again, you could put some little balloons in there if you wanted. Maybe when you first had it on the stuff balloon, you put a little candy in there, just like a handful, and then stuff it. And you can get little balloons in there in the stuff balloon with the hand pump because your plushed animal, you could squeeze in there and the balloon as it's inflating will squeeze it. So you could probably get 2 or 3 in there if you like. I just personally don't like to spend a lot of time on them because it's just like a little, centerpiece. Again, these are big for centerpieces. I'm going to Easter at Grandma's. I'm going to bring something along that everybody's going to talk about. So that's where this type of product comes in. Maybe the kid is only a year old, and it's not ready for the big bunny, but they want to bring them something that's super cute. And these are pretty, very durable if you don't inflate them, overinflate them. That's a big deal. And so I do recommend these. We call them Bunny, B-U-N-N-Y, Buddies. Okay, so another good little craft show project. Okay. All right. Next, speaking on that, I actually got a ball, and if you don't have a stuffing machine, and maybe you can't find 16-inch balloons, whatever it is, but you want to add a toy, you want to do something expensive. This was $2.37. And there's no reason you couldn't make this look like a big bunny, okay? So you inflate the quad, you use your glue dots to the quad, you put your quad on top and you put your big bunny head, and then you have a bunny, but his belly is a ball. So they have instead of just popping the balloon and the balloon being filled with little balloons or whatever, now they actually have a toy. in there. So I just picked this up because I was thinking about it today, and this isn't fragile. So it's really easy to sell, right, at a craft show or anything like that. And it just shows that you're creative, you're using different products in different ways, and I think people appreciate that. So every year you come up with something else, or you come up with something different. You get those repeat customers and like, wow, I've had a big bunny, what can you do this year? So it gives you other things to do. And if you don't have a stuffing machine, like I said, you can use this, and you don't even have to use a 16-inch balloon. So if everybody understands that, I'm going to move on. Yeah? Good? Okay. Oh, I want to talk about these. So, candy cups. I'm not, I don't know if I'm going to make one of these on here, but if you've made a candy cup, it's a slushy cup, a plastic slushy cup, and you get those at restaurant wholesalers. So anybody that supplies a restaurant with napkins and to-go cartons has slushy cups, okay? And a slushy cup is the clear plastic with the dome top. And you'll see people, they fill it with candy, and they put a 5-inch balloon in the dome, inside the dome here, and they attach bunny heads and twisted items, all kinds of things, okay? What I liked about these is this cup was only $4. It's filled with candy already.
Thank you.
It has the, Hello Kitty. They had all kinds. This is Baby Yoda, that type of thing. So I thought that these were really good. And if I bought these individually, because these are really good sippy cups, this would be a lot more money. These I got at Walmart, okay? It's got suckers in there, some other little candy. But there's no reason, and it's got the straw. So I thought the straw was a great way to add another little cluster. You could make this look like a bunny, right? So you could do little balloons. I think I glued that guy on if I can get him to come on. Right? It's all in proportion. Now, the other thing is, if you go to a craft show, you should be looking at other people's products and asking them, like if they sell pillows, wrap a pillow, right? Think of something to do with a pillow. If you're doing, you're just showing you're decorating at a craft show and you're doing this kind of stuff to just make money or whatever, go decorate a couple other booths. Do some nuggets of organic and add them. The worst that could happen is the show is going to offer, is going to ask you to come back and decorate because it's going to look so good. So you're kind of like doing marketing on your own, getting a thing, right? So I did the 2 duplets. I made it into a quad. I used the straw. I'm literally twisting it. I'm going to double twist it on there so it's on there good, right? And again, if I took my bunny head here and put it on there, give me one second. So retail and craft shows is all about coming up with things. Now, when I say that you're going to go out and get these, what I'm saying is you're going to sell maybe 10 of these. Don't go crazy buying hundreds of them. Just start with 10, because again, you're looking for variety at all the things that you're doing. Okay? I'm just going to cut this off so I can show you. I don't like these ones, they're too big. And the other great thing too is if you have this left over at the end of your holidays, so what? You can use that for birthdays, use that for anything. And you can a candy cup too. Okay, I'm just, I don't want to have to buy, you have to buy like a whole sleeve of cups in order to do that, and I might not want to buy that many for this. I'm just looking for other ways to, actually going to take this off. I'm going to tie this again to the quad. So I got that long neck. I'm tying it there. Okay. And see, it's a little wobbly, right? So I'm going to twist them around my balloons. Make that neck nice and tight. Okay. Now again, I'm going to attach that to my straw on this particular cup. Okay. And this actually seems much more, like this head is much more suited to this cup, like this size to me. Okay, go. I'm going to use one little glue dot. Or dash, whatever you want to use. Cold, you can use cold glue. Don't use hot glue on the plastic, but cold glue. My little arms, I'm going to stick in there. I'm going to twist in front. Now these arms are way too big for this product, obviously, but because I took it off another. But you'll get the idea. Okay. Cute. This is like a really long-armed bunny. But see how cute that is? Like, and I'm not Twister. I'm not a, you know, like I know that they do amazing things. The Twisters are crazy. It's amazing what they can do. Way easier than me. I just do simple things. Also, we have a staff. So I have to teach a staff how to do all this stuff. I can't be teaching them how to make a dog or an elephant or a teddy bear. I just don't have time for that to make these type of products. And if I'm doing a couple locations, I might have to make 50 of these. So it's just too time consuming. But if you are a Twister, and maybe you're just dabbling into retail or you're looking for other things to do when you're out twisting and to sell, I know a lot of you do candy cups, but I really liked these. So I liked it because the cup is very solid. It gives it really, really good value. So I'm probably going to charge like $19.99 for these, okay? At least, because I had to go and buy this. I had to drive there. My time is worth money. So just a little thing, right? You've seen different versions of it. But like I said, I really like these. They were at Walmart, and they were about $4. And usually, they'll bring them out like this. They'll bring them out for Halloween. They bring them out for Christmas, Valentine's Day. So if you can wait till right after the holiday, they will have these really, really discounted, which is fantastic because there's no reason you can't use this for a birthday. If you bought it at Halloween, you can use it for Christmas or whatever. And my suggestion is if you're ever doing that, you're buying plushed animals or some sort of product like this, the eggs or anything, at a Walmart or Target, a CVS, really the pharmacies are really good places to get stuff because it's not their business to sell these, so they don't go through as much, and their discounts are deeper, and they're actually, their product I think is a little better, believe it or not. But the moral of my story is ask the manager if there's any more in the back, okay? When they get busy, they don't care if the shelves get filled because they just send this back. It's part of the contract. If you want to do business with a Target or a Walmart, you have to take the returns, whether they put it on the shelf or not. It's one of the things that makes it the most difficult as a retailer to do business with them because it's so expensive. So they can send back boxes that were never open. And then, of course, the wholesaler has to deal with that. But if you have it in the back, always ask. And if you're going to buy 20 of them, always ask for more than a discount. Like if they're at 50, say, well, can you do it for 60? Because it's just going to go down anyways. And you just bought a case of stuff that was in the back that probably wasn't going to be put out to begin with. And it never hurts to ask. All they can do is say, no, I can't do that. But you'd be surprised with the manager, how much power the manager has, you know, just with their products like this. Okay, so I'm going to go on to one last product before I actually run through a bunny. I know, do you think I should do this one or that one first? Should I run through the bunny? Okay, all right, I'm going to run through the bunny. Now, a big bunny, for the most part, unless you're going to use a ball, like I told you, or you're going to inflate a 16-inch and you're going to hand pump, or maybe you have a T-Rex, something like that, and you're going to fill that with balloons, you really need a balloon stuffing machine. I'm going to run through a very simple bunny, and the reason I'm going to do that is just to give some extra tips that I see people having problems with that I want to answer if I can. Okay, so I'm taking my balloon, I'm going to turn it inside out. I do not wash the inside and outside of my balloons. I know a lot of people do that. I don't like that it creates moisture in my balloon. I never use soap on my balloon. That can dry it out. So I'm going to put this on here. The reason I turn it inside out is obviously on my machine, it's going to go right side out once I put it in there. Okay. I put my stretcher on there. I inflate it all the way in the chamber. Now, if you're getting your balloons are deflating when you get them out of the machine like the next day, you are probably not putting your balloon far enough on the tongs, and you're creating a pinhole in here. And what happens is right where the machine neck comes down and the tub begins. And you'll create a little pinhole right there if it's very, very thin when you go to take it off. And then the next day it deflates. You'll notice that your balloons will have a ring, a white ring on there. You could go crazy washing and scrubbing it if you wanted. Again, your time is money, so I wouldn't do that. The customer doesn't know it doesn't belong there. So your balloon is still clear. So it doesn't really matter. And once you put your quad and everything on top, you can't really see the ring. So, but what's happening is the pressure of blowing it out and where the neck sits is what creates that, where it comes down, and it creates that ring. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with your balloons. And there's really not any way to get rid of that. It's just the power of the suction. Okay, and again, you're probably going to cover it, and if you're not, nobody knows it's not supposed to be there. Okay, your customers, a couple things I always say, make your products so that your customer can move them. That's why I say tape it down, make sure it's tight, do what you can so that the customer can actually handle it. Like when they give it to their kids, can they play with it? Can they go, oh my God, look it? You know they're going to drop it, right? So make sure they can get it from spot A to B. So from your store into their car, back home, in the house, maybe back into the car, and then back to wherever they're giving it as a gift. So make sure that it's put together. Nobody wants to get a gift like, oh my God, I can't touch it. Oh my God, it might pop. And if you are delivering your stuff and you feel that way, then something's wrong. You're overinflating your balloons, whatever it is, because you can't let your customer feel that way. If you feel that way, they feel 10 times that way, because you know that if it pops, you could just do it again. It's not a big deal. So keep that in mind. It's always about the customer and what the customer thinks. So one of my biggest sellers, I actually offer two types of bunnies, okay? I offer one that's filled with balloons. It also has some 260s in there, okay? We're gonna talk about that and why. And this just has a handful of candy and a handful of like novelty toys on the bottom. I don't do anything. It's got shred. I literally just one handful, that's it. I charge $45, okay? This is more teenager, centerpiece, that type of thing. Maybe you're even getting it for your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and they don't want little kids they don't want little toys in it. They're not looking for a coloring book, that type of thing. Maybe, again, it's just a centerpiece on the buffet at home, or in the island or something like that. So we sell a lot of these. You'll see that there's two kinds of arms. This is a 350, so it's 3 inches in diameter, 50 inches long. A 260 is 2 inches in diameter and 60 inches long. That's hence why they're named that, okay? I do like the beefier arms. I think they look more in proportion, and you can inflate these much earlier than you can a 260. But that being said, I do love chrome, and I do a lot of my bunnies in chrome because the customers love them, and they don't offer obviously 350s in chrome. So you kind of have to pick and choose. Like they don't have dark green like this in chrome. So this is a pearl green. This is from Sempertex right here. So this is their pearl green. This is their pearl green. And then this is just a spring green from Qualitex. So it kind of blends, right? I always use curling ribbon. I think it makes it look more festive. It will help you to attach any items at the top. Okay, and we'll go through that very, very quickly. Okay, so I just want to show you that this is the product we're actually going to make versus this product. You know what, Chris, can you give me the one without the arms? I'm going to show you, give me the pink one. Again, when I'm displaying these out and about, I have a couple with arms, and then all the other ones I display don't have arms. Okay, so then this is the one, same, everything's the same, but now I've staged my product. Okay, so I have 4 items in here. I actually have one just on the ground from the dollar store. And then I have these other 4 items. So I put 5 items from the dollar store, handful of candy, a couple eggs, that's it. Not a lot of product. But because I chose great packaging, look how big that looks. And you'll get a really big wow effect from this. And they don't even realize there's just only $5 worth of product in there. And I say $5 because when I buy in such bulk. And I don't know if a lot of you know that you can go to the dollar store online and you can buy things by the case. And once you set yourself up as a business, they will give you discounts, 10%, stuff like that. So you have to set yourself up. You have to have a tax ID number to do that. Also, you can buy all these products that the dollar store buys wholesale somewhere else. So you might pay, I mean, we're going to do 300 or 400 bunnies. So when you're buying 300 of something, they're going to give you better discount, right? So we're only paying probably 75 cents, 60 cents for an item versus $1.25 now. Actually, dollar store is $1.25. So I'm always thinking of my cost when I'm talking. So if you're going to pay $1.25 in these items, you're actually putting $6 worth of items. Some candy, you're putting about $7 worth of items in there if you're building it like I am. But getting back to that, when you display them, there's arms and no arms. So I always show the arms, you know, the one with the arms like this, but I have them on display too, and I tell people, oh, we put the arms on right before you buy them, okay? So just so you understand that guy. All right, so this, I'm going to teach you a couple tricks, and it's the only reason I'm building a bunny is because I'm going to teach you a couple tricks that will help you with your stuffed balloons, if you do pop drops, anything like that. Could you give me a 9-inch balloon? So I'm going to fill this first. When I'm building a bunny, I'm always going to have a water balloon, right? Yes, Marlene, I'm always going to have a water balloon. And this, I'm actually, because I'm not staging my product, I'm actually going to use a larger balloon. And the reason I'm using a larger one is when you weight something, it's perceived value. When it's heavy, that it's expensive. If I leave everything, if I don't put something heavy in each one of these, people go, oh, it's just a balloon. It's not worth much. But when they pick it up and it's heavy, they go, oh, and their whole perception changes, okay? It's actually a studied science. So that's why I weight my things. Also, if it was to fall over, it would come right back up. It's a weeble wobble. In a balloon filled with balloons like that, and just some candy, I can put a larger water balloon in there, and that's what I'm doing. Just adding color. Thanks. So a lot of times I would put a little bit of shred, okay, in the bottom, just because I'm covering my mechanics, and I'm going to have some candy go in there, okay, and this, whatever, okay, and then I take everybody's eating my candy, whatever, okay, so you have a big bag of candy, give me that, I buy jumbo bags. If you have a candy distributor in your area, and I'm sure you do, it's less expensive to get your candy from a candy distributor if you have a sales tax ID number versus buying it at Walmart or Kmart or anything like that. Is it still okay? Okay. So whatever. So you put some candy in there, okay? I do make sure that I'm using things that are nut-free, okay? Wheat-free. I don't really get into chocolate very much just because of all that crazy stuff. If I could do vegan, I would, but organic is very expensive. So when somebody asks me, do you have any options for organic children? I tell them, yes, just toys. I'll make a special balloon for them that's just toys, okay? Now, out of the 350 whatever balloons that we're gonna sell, we might need to make 5 of those. There's not like there is a whole world of vegans, but not every one of them lives in your city. So for you to have to make those, it's only a couple, and that's okay. So anyways, I throw my product in there. And you can see with my bunnies, if I'm doing green, I'm a matchy-matchy girl. I think that when people walk by and they see that solid like color, it's really, really takes your eye to it, right? So if there's like a solid green and like a solid pink, not solid, but shades of pink, shades of green, shades of yellow, it's very striking. If I walk by and every balloon is mismatched and different colors, it's very confusing to the eye. And you actually cheapen your product. You actually make it, and that, if you think about a store, a clothing store, it's all done by color, right? They line all the shirts up together. They're all done by color. If you go to the sale racks, what happens? It's like a hot nightmare, right? So when I see that, I think cheap, right? It's a hot nightmare. It's not organized or anything, but when it's all nice and organized on those racks in the front, I know I'm paying full price. So think about that when you're doing any type of retail work, really even decorating. If you go crazy, you know, like they might have 10 colors that they want, but you can veer them down to like 4 or 5. You don't have to use all 10 colors. It gets a little crazy. And you can tell because everybody in organic right now is all hot and bothered about color blocking. And that's because it's a blocks of color. It's more pleasing to the eye versus when it's all crazy and you have 6 colors together. You know, not that they're both beautiful, they are, but you can see that the trend is really towards color blocking. It's also much easier to do. So, so that being said, I think in this one, I'm just gonna put some shades of pink. So I just got a bag of mixed matched things, okay? Now, I don't wanna have to put 25 balloons in here, right? Like, I wanna, I don't wanna have to fill it because that costs money. That's where your 260s come in. Always put 2 of these curled inside your balloon. This one's gonna deflate, okay? Because they take up so much space. And then the next thing I do, and all the same color, is I take a 9-inch balloon, and I would use my air inflator for this, and I actually put it in there. Okay, this is also a good thing for pop drops. So I'm putting a 9-inch balloon in there, and a couple curlies, and I'm just tying it normal. And look at how much more now my balloon is like already almost full, right? Just by adding those 2 balloons. If I added another curly, it would be probably absolutely full. I'm gonna use some yellow. No, I'm gonna use purple. Okay, doesn't really matter, okay? For this, okay? And so that's one of the biggest tricks I wanted to teach you is just about filling those like that with those 2 things, 2 curlies, and use a 9-inch balloon in there. You'll use a lot less product, and it will stay full longer because your balloons inside lose air, and we want to be able to make our stuff like 2 weeks in advance. So if you do that, like I said, you'll use less and it works out better. Also, if you are doing product like this, okay, now again, I have mine staged and I can pretty much move it. You see that my stuff isn't tipping over, okay, because I've staged it. I have 3 little balloons behind there right now. But if you are not somebody that stages your items, or you just kind of throw them in there, or you're not threading them up with string, if you put 2 curly 260s behind your product, when you go in a bunny, okay, and you just put them in there, and you have your stuff in the front, and when you go to put it in your car, you lay it this way, it will help keep all your stuff the way it is right now. See how my stuff barely moved? So my customer, I'm gonna tell them, oh here, make sure you rest it on the back. Now I have just 3 little balloons there, but the curlies work really good with loose stuff if you're not staging like I am. But literally my candy, nothing moved in my balloon. I'm always thinking of my customer. How is they gonna get it home? And I teach my customer, here, you need to put it on the back, okay? If you're gonna put this in a bag, you can either put it, you use a bun rack cover, that's what they're called. They're 72 inches. It's a bag, a clear bag. It's literally meant for the bakery industry. It's called a bun rack cover. It will cover your whole bunny. I usually tie the bag right between the ears, and then I don't have to worry about it. But if you don't get a bag that big, people have asked me before, how do I get it in the bag? And I've seen people not attach the head. I don't suggest that. It's very hard to get the head on, and that's not really, the customers paid $45 or $55 or $60 for these. I don't think that's fair. So always, if you're gonna detach anything and let the customer attach it, use the quad, or, and put the tabs on there. So they just have to take off the white tabs and stick it on there. Okay, and you're gonna tell them that, give them those instructions. Maybe you're gonna write those instructions out. Like, hey, this is how you put it on the quad. You also can use Magic Arch, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's 4 foil balloons, 18-inch foil balloons in 1 unit. called Magic Arch. Having a party carries it, and you can give them one of those, and again with the tape on it, and the customer can use that. The good thing about those, they last really long and they're super shiny, so a lot of people like those, and they're inexpensive, and you only have to pump up one thing versus inflating 4. And so what I would do then is, if you have a smaller bag, you would put the balloon inside the bag with your Magic Arch or your quad to the side or at the top, or maybe even in a separate bag, okay? But if you can get that 72-inch bun, B-U-N, rack cover, I recommend those. That's what we use. But even for our bouquets, it's really, really good. Okay, so back to this. See, I digress. I get a little crazy. I do. Now, of course, I've touched the silicone bunny, so this guy doesn't want to come out. Okay. Okay. So I have my base, right? When I'm doing this type of bunny, I'm actually, because I don't have any fishing line coming out of the top, I'm just going to tie my balloon. If I was using that, I would use some sort of disc, because I want to be able to have control over my fishing line when it's in there. But I would just tie this. Now, a lot of people come up with crazy things to tie stuff, and I know a lot of you use 2 fingers like this, and that can be difficult. It's also easier to tie when you leave it in the machine. So, but for all intents and purposes, for you, I'm taking it out of the machine. But I actually just use 1 finger, and I make it like a C. So if you can see, I'm doing the same thing everybody else does with 2 fingers, but I just use 1. So realistically, and I gave it a little pull, I can tie with all 5 of my fingers. So if my thumb hurts, I go to my index. If that one hurts, I go to my next one. I can literally tie with my pinky. And that's just a little suggestion. For me, I don't stretch over 2 fingers. I just tape over 1, and I find that it doesn't take off my skin. So, but if you're really good at tying with 2, then hey, more power to you. That Chris can tie with 2, so that's it. Okay, so this is really, really full, and this has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. This has about 20 little balloons. Now these balloons right here are about 2 weeks old. So, and we have them around because we're doing different projects and stuff like that. So I use those. So if you really did those fresh, they would be bigger. You wouldn't use as many. But I've got my 9-inch in there, or one of my curly cues. If you have a stuffing machine like mine to design, you actually can put it on top and press the button, and you can see that until I break the seal, I can do all my decorating up here, right? I got a place to do anything. I'm showcasing things. Maybe I've taken my machine to the mall or the supermarket and I'm putting on like a little show. This is what I would do, okay? I would then add my packs of curling ribbon and then the tops of my bunny, which is just 4 quads. The reason I like the curling ribbon is because once I put the curling ribbon pack on here, I can use that to tie my quad in there. You can also tie your quad directly to this, the neck of your quad directly to this, and that'll be super tight, okay? If you're good. I don't know, like when I do events, there's some people that are beginners and some advanced. So the advanced people will easily be able to tie the quad to that. Beginners are gonna wanna put curling ribbon on it, press your quad down, and tie that curling ribbon around your quad in a knot, but press it down so it's really tight. And that's how you tie it in a knot, and that's how you get it on there. Okay, and then you attach your head and so on and so forth. So that's my tips. Those are my tips for this. I wasn't even going to do this bunny, but I see the same problems online all the time. So it's about that turning. And if you add balloons, if you're doing what we call a pop-it, this is what I would call a pop-it. So really to get their basket, they have to pop this. And the reason that I have a love-hate relationship with them, because I've just put all this work into making this bunny, and now you're going to pop it, and everything's going to fall to the floor, and it's just going to go in the garbage. So that's why I love staged product, because they tend to leave that in there for a long time because they can see it. And the longer your balloon lasts, which should be months, the more perceived value, and the more people that see it and advertise, and it's like a really good thing. So, and they'll keep coming back. So that's the difference with that. Good? All right. So I'm on to my last thing. How long have I actually been talking? Because normally am I good? Okay.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Oh my God. I could keep going too. So last but not least is a product that actually is just kind of totally different than what we're showing here. And let's say you don't want to get involved in any of this, but you want to go to the craft show. Again, you're gonna put up a beautiful organic piece, maybe something ombre #1, in a nice shadow box or whatever you want to do, but you need something to sell, and you want it to be different. Like, the whole point of doing things the way that we do, one level above, is we are not Party City. This is not your competition. If you are a balloon decorator, Party City is not your competition. The dollar store is not your competition, okay? So we always have to add the next level to our items, okay? And so the next product I'm going to show you is where you can go almost anywhere. If you can get helium and you know how to work helium, you literally need a little magenta, like a little inflator, and a couple sizes of balloons. So it's very, very simple. And this guy is one of our big sellers at our Easter markets. But you can also sell these in bouquets or for birthday parties, right? And it's so simple. If you can do everything I just told you, you can do these. It's so, so simple, right? And I have these on a little weight. Of course, we never want foils to get loose, so I do put mine on a weight. It adds a lot of perceived value to it, okay? Generally on a weight, we would charge $25 for these. Without the weight, we would charge $20, okay? You can use, I'm a big proponent of using every single thing I can, so I like to use the little faces and the shapes of the 18-inch balloons that I get. And what I did is I put a little washer on the back. So this costs about 6 cents. We have these washers for a whole bunch of stuff. So if I didn't want to tie it to the weight, okay, like this. I'm good at tying these on. Phew. I put a little hole punch in her ear, because you always want something for the kid to hold on to, right? Now, one of the tricks to these is to give a couple away, even the punching balls. You want, what I'm going to do is, because I don't want the hole to rip out, I'm just putting a little piece of tape there, right? And then I have a matching, right, to my my balloon. And but these especially, all you have to do is give away 2, and you will have a rush of people at your place. So I'm going to show you how to make these. I'm going to go through it. It's very, very simple. Again, I really kind of stepped you through it already through our whole class, but you really try to have these already made, excuse me, and in bags. That way, when the rush comes, you're prepared for them, right? So, sorry. Okay. Do they like these? You liked them? Okay, good. I was hoping, because the customers love them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Tigger. Now, that's the other great thing, is there's a lot of different heads they make, right? Oh my God, there's what, Spider-Man, and there's the princesses, and all kinds of things. I would say, though, Mickey and Minnie are probably 2 of the most popular. Like, if I was going to buy, like, stock up on any characters to do this type of thing, it would be Mickey and Minnie. Spider-Man and stuff is good. It's just, you got to think of the size of the head to make sure it can lift this, okay? Because it does have a little pull. And foils, to begin with, because they're heavy, don't have as much pull as latex, okay? So, now on, what I'm actually doing here is, this is a 4.5-inch cluster, and this is about a 3.5-inch cluster. So it's just 2 clusters. On here, I did hers separate. I did the small one on top and the big one on the bottom, so that it kind of looked like her dress. You could also use hearts, right? You could tie 4 6-inch latex hearts together, like we did that flower, and then it would make her look like a dress too, right? So it depends how crazy you want to get. Valentine's Day, you could do whatever. They got the tiger, that love you tiger. They got gorilla heads. They got everything, right? But now they have that panda head. You have the tiger head. You have the woodland characters. There's a teddy bear. So there's all kinds of stuff. Again, I'm going to do this on the pump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What am I doing? Tigger? Okay. So generally, my balloon is, these would be 4 or 4.5 inches. I'm not counting. Out of my element here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna put those right. One quad. Now I'm gonna do a little one. And I just like to do the different sizes because I think it makes them look cuter. Again, obviously you can make these any way that you want. But this and the punching ball, so you see where I'm going with this, right? You do a trade show maybe. And a lot of times I get my ideas from what I've seen online. Twisters are an excellent place to get ideas. But I don't twist, so I have to come up with ways or some way to use that for me. So that's what I do. So we got our quads, okay? Now I'm actually going to tie the neck from the larger quad to the smaller quad, okay? Keeps them nice and tight. Not going to fall off, anything like that. I'm making a little body, okay? So there you go. Right? You got one on top of the other. Simple, right? So I'm going to go like that. Next, I'm going to use my 260s again. The other great thing about a lot of the products that I'm showing you is 260s are easy to get. So 260s and 350s they have. So it works out really, really well. Okay. So I'm taking a whole, sorry, my hands are getting slippery. A whole 260. And I'm going to leave about 6 inches, or as they say in the business, 2 fists at the end, okay? Because my guys aren't that long, right? My little arms and legs aren't that long. That's part of the reason they're so cute. I like those little things. Okay, I'm going to burp it, tie it, and then I'm moving it down. Again, it's thicker here and thinner here. And by doing this, I'm making it softer, so you'll have less poppage, okay? So I'm literally just taking this and bending it, okay? And then I'm going to pinch it right here so that it's together, okay? Probably the hardest part. And then I take the neck and I go around once and then through the middle, okay? And that locks that into place. Then to make the little foot, because he's got a little bubble at the end, I'm making a bubble like this. And I'm going to tie, or I'm going to twist this neck to this, okay? So I'm actually kind of pushing up on it. And listen, these are 260s, they're going to pop. Like, you've been around twisters, they pop these, they're not, you know. And then I have a little foot. See, he's got a little thing in the back. Simple, like this is about as far as I get. Now I'm softening it up again, like this, because I'm going to have to bend them like this, right? So I want this middle to be soft. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, little twist. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfectly sized. Unless you're going to enter competition, then it does. But this is why I'm not in competition for twisting. Whoop. Oh, there you go. So what happened there is I actually twisted. You have to always twist the same way. Otherwise, it'll come unhooked because you twist one way and then the other. So, okay. So, here. Then I go in. All right. I got that. Now I'm making the bubble. And don't worry, I have to do this again. So if you're not getting it, And I have, this is very short for 2 legs. I'll tell you that, so I'm gonna do it again, but you get the idea, right? So I'm lucky because I have Brenda and Joe that work here, and they are both great twisters, and they have taught me a lot of, I'm certainly not a twister, but they teach me a lot of the basic stuff that really, really helps. So I'm gonna make his legs a lot longer. So. All right. I'm acting like some kind of pro. Nah. Just like you guys, the struggle is real, man. The struggle is real with the twisting. Okay, there's that. And if you get this little bubble, Brenda says that's an inexperience. So after 30 years, I still get the bubble. So I am inexperienced. Okay, and then, oops, I'm making a bubble. Twisting it into that bubble. I got one leg there. Or arm. These could be the arms too, because they're exactly the same. Okay. Hopefully now I have this soft enough. I'm actually going to tie it. No. And there's a bubble. Also, you'll find too, if you're new and you're working with certain colors of balloons, like the white to me are really easy to work with. But when I get into the other colors, like this is pretty tight. So I'm going to cut this off, but I'm going to tie it so it doesn't lose any air. I know, everybody's going to say, you don't have to tie it, you don't have to tie it. But guess what? I'm a decorator. Decorators tie everything. We're afraid to leave it just twisted. So that's it. Okay. So here I have either my little arms or my little legs. Okay. These I'm actually going to make my legs. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this. Now you see that I've inflated the balloon. I didn't wind the neck up, okay? I just left the ribbon on here. I'm literally just going to put the neck of the balloon right in there, okay? And I'm pulling not on the short string, but the big string, and I'm wrapping it in there like a figure 8, okay? So I can get it really tight. And then I'm tying a knot. Okay, just tying it up. Again, you know that I don't like loosey-goosey necks for the most part, so I am going to wrap this once. But I'm not going to go crazy because it's only on there with a piece of ribbon, and I don't want it to slip off of there, okay? And then, if these are his little legs, oop, he does not want to float for me. Oh, well, first of all, I put him on upside down. Oh, maybe he had nitrogen in them before. So sometimes we reuse our foils, and if they have air or nitrogen in them, it won't carry it. And I bet I picked one that was already filled with air or nitrogen before I put the helium in there. But that's okay. We're going to keep going because you get the idea of what I'm doing here. And if you fill it with 100% helium, you'll be fine. Okay. So now I'm going to take the legs, and I'm going to put a little twist in them, so that I can tie this curling ribbon on them, okay? If I had a little bit more give, you can leave them like this if you want. Okay? See, so he has his little tiger paws. And then we're just gonna give him some arms. If you wanna go crazy, you could put glue dots right here if you wanted his legs, but tiger doesn't really sit like that, so I'm not gonna do that. So I am going to do another black 260, stretch it out, and I'm going to do the same exact thing, and I'm going to make some little arms. and then we will open it to questions. So start typing, start thinking. All right. Okay, again, I'm making it pretty soft. I'm gonna slurp it. Okay, I'm really trying to make that as soft as I can. This first one is the easiest. To me, it's the second one that's the hardest. Mainly because that's when it gets tight. So, for those of you that are new to this, is recorded. So if you're not writing everything down, don't worry about it. You will be able to go back and watch this on Having a Party's channel, Instagram channel. I've twisted, I made that bubble. I'm sure it's hard to see against black against my black shirt. That's probably not that great. Okay, again, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to knot it, and then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to let some of the air out. I'm not one of those people that can like twist it off or like just break it off. To me, that's like so talented. That I don't do. I guess if I practice it, I probably could, but I don't. Can't do it if you don't practice, folks. Not gonna work. Okay. Again. There's little arms in there. Right? A little bend in there. And stick through it. Now, what I like to do is I put a twist in it. Then I put it through my quad, in between the two. And I bring it forward and I twist them so it locks it in. I know, Tigger, it looks like I'm totally destroying you, but I'm not. Okay? So you can have him stick him like this, or he's doing the splits. Or, you just play with them a little bit. Some breaks down. And again, I don't go crazy with this stuff too much because when the kid moves it, it's going to get all a little crazy anyways. It's really just the first thing that they want to see, like that first visual, you figure your booth. And the great thing about balloons is we can have them very, very high. So if I'm at a craft show, right, like, what are you going to see? Are you seeing somebody's pillows or their wreaths, or are you seeing this stuff, right? So I'm going to let him fall to the ground, but, so you have these really tall strings. Who's not going to want one of these? Like, I love them. Like, listen, there's a reason that Disney still sells the foil Mickey Mouse head inside the bubble, and I think that those things are like $40 now. Like, they're really a lot of money. And people don't even know that they can't take them on a plane, which is crazy. So, okay, that is it for me. I just want to say thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I hope you learned something. You might love it or hate it. You might be able to elaborate on it. And if you do, God, please join my Facebook group and send me pictures. I love to see what you guys are doing. Again, I keep things quick and easy because I have staff and I'm doing high volume. But if you're very artsy and you're at home and you're in it for the craft of it, man, there's stuff you could do would just be amazing, right? So, is there any questions? No questions. I covered that much? Really? Wow. Okay, I guess that's a good thing. So Like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed it. I do have a YouTube channel, Stuffed Balloons from A to Z with Marlene Potts. If you want to subscribe to that, get notices when I'm making something or talking about something. I have a Facebook page, Stuffed Balloons with Marlene Potts, that you can ask to become a member of. I post a lot of things in there. And then my regular Facebook business page, just Stuffed Balloons from A to Z. That's where you'll find everything that I post first. So if I come up with a new product or a new video or something that I'm doing, class, anything like that, I'm going to post it there first. So a lot of people subscribe to that so that they get noticed first. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for having a party, for having me or hosting this. And I hope that people go to having a party if you're not a customer already. Seriously, sign up there, get yourself an account, and find out what true customer service is. I'll tell you, that's what makes them one of the #1 distributors in the country, is true customer service. How can I help you? What can I do? I can get that. Don't worry, I'll help you. I can take care of it. They never say no. That it's true customer service. So thank you so much, and good night from Buffalo, New York. Have a great day. Thanks. That's it. Yay. I think Marlene, you're the best. Okay, so I'm going to end it, but I don't want to lose it. I don't know if I push that. If I come down here. Oh, requested to join. Oh, no. Just end it. There we go. What brand was a bunny stuffed balloons? The white bunny on it. Where do you get the large eggs? Okay. I actually saw that there's actually a couple more questions. So everybody asked about this white bunny head. And this white bunny head is from Anagram. Okay, you can get those at a lot of different places. Again, having a party will have those. And the large eggs for these, like I said, this one was actually from Party City. The other one I showed was from Michael's Crafts. But you can also get them online. You don't have to use the metallic ones because they are more expensive. But you definitely want an egg that's 8 to 10 inches. And they'll cost you between $4 and $5. And then usually these, the metallic ones will cost you a little bit more. So as we get closer to Easter, the prices drop a little bit and you can find better discounts. So I just saw those questions. I want to answer them. Good night. Okay. I don't want to do this.
I'm not stuffed balloons from A to Z. I don't know what the...
I know, but I don't want to.
I can't remember what he said to hit. Want to call him?
It says, what's your Instagram account? Stuffed balloons from A to Z. Do you see the question?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to do the wrong thing.
Stuffed balloons from A to Z?
I'm hoping if I end it.